Welcome back. Exactly what impact will a Biden administration have on the gun industry? We know that he wants to largely ban assault weapons and has proposed universal background checks. And looking at his cabinet, at least 5 of his picks have supported gun control in the past. Here to discuss is attorney and gun rights activist Colion Noir. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
You say that this president-elect is probably the most anti-Second Amendment president-elect in history. Tell us why.
Well, if you look at what he's done throughout the campaign, he's literally run on the idea of restricting your Second Amendment rights. I can't think of any possible potential presidential hopeful who has literally said over and over again, I beat the NRA and I'll do it again. And he's run on the idea of mandatory gun buybacks. He's run on the idea of removing the immunity that the gun industry has from frivolous lawsuits that literally would sink the industry if that wasn't in place. I can't think of anybody else from a presidential or potential presidential standpoint who's done or said these things. So in my mind, he is absolutely one of the most anti-Second Amendment people potentially going to be our president here in this country.
And speaking of comments, his cabinet picks as well have spoken vociferously about it. We have Javier Becerra that says AR-15s are not in common use for lawful purposes like self-defense. Dr. Vivek Murthy says guns are a health care issue. Susan Rice, the NRA has bought too many members of Congress. And Pete Buttigieg, we must hold the gun industry accountable. Jennifer Granholm, why do you need armor-piercing bullets? Those are just the tip of the iceberg. What are your thoughts on his cabinet picks comments?
I don't think honestly, it doesn't surprise me and the rest of the gun community because we've been battling this for decades. However, for a lot of the new gun owners, they need to understand that they've been doing this for a while now. They fight holistically. They don't just come in through the front door. They attack at all angles. So if they can make it a healthcare issue or some other non-relative issue, as long as it's actually going towards their goal, which is restricting your Second Amendment rights, they're going to do it. And so it's not just a political war. It's not just a legal war. It's also a culture war. And they understand that. It was Eric Holder, who was the former AG for Obama. He even said it himself explicitly. We need to brainwash people about guns in this country. So this is a cultural battle. And so I implore all of the new gun owners out there who may have even voted for Biden to understand that this isn't just you can go out, buy a gun, and then all of a sudden your rights are protected. That's not how this works. You've got to be vigilant about protecting your rights because the people that you may have voted for or not have voted for, there are tons of those people out there who are literally trying to restrict your rights because as far as they see it, the only person who should have any power to protect anyone is the government, and you should not have that ability yourself.
Speaking of a culture war, in this holiday season, this is usually when children are asking for gifts. But here in Hempstead, New York, this town is holding a toy gun exchange where they are requesting that kids surrender their toy guns, water pistols. They say toys that could perpetuate violence, quote. And the village of Hempstead has come out in favor of this toy gun exchange. The trustee and school board president will join the New York toy gun exchange. And they have said that they will announce this exchange of toy guns. They promote it. What are your thoughts on this, sir?
I think it's utterly ridiculous, but it speaks to the very way that they've been approaching gun violence in this country for the longest time now. Close to 80%, if not more, of the gun violence in this country comes from a very particularized area in this country. And I assure you, it's not because they were growing up playing with toy guns when they were kids. It is a socioeconomic issue that they don't want to deal with. So what they do is they project out and say, no, we really care. Look, we're getting rid of the toy guns to eliminate the idea of violence from our child's mind. Again, culture war. It's not about saving lives. It's about shifting the culture about Second Amendment and the ability to protect yourself in this country so that it forces you to rely on the government. Because by and large, these are people who see that the government should have the absolute power in these positions. And that's what they'll continue to do over and over and over again. And so we've got to, again, be vigilant about fighting back against this. Let your voices be heard. Go out, speak to people, send letters to your representatives, people in Congress, because at the end of the day, we do have the power to stop these things.
I'm sure the YouTube algorithm is going to do a phenomenal job of suppressing this message. So please share this video with as many people as you can so we can beat the algorithm and get our two-way message out to the masses. Also, don't forget to like this video and leave a comment and hit the bell and subscribe button. If you're looking for where to purchase your Defund Gun Control shirts, hats, and drinkware, there's a link in the description section.
All right, now
we have the performance mask at shop.mrcolionnoir.com. And no, these aren't the masks that suffocate you to death. You can breathe in this mask. It's lightweight material, very high quality. You know how I do.